Are you tired of sorting through tons of productivity hacks that promise big changes only to find out that they don't actually work? Well, don't worry because today we're going to get real about productivity and spoiler alert, there's no one size fits all solution to productivity. Hello guys, I'm Mel and today I'm here to guide you through 10 thought-provoking questions that will empower you to craft your very own productive routine that suits your unique needs. Essentially, the formula that you need is this. First, we'll focus on crafting a routine that provides the energy you need to power through your day. Then we'll dive into creating a routine that not only helps you recharge your energy towards the end of the day, but also prepares you for the next day. And finally, we'll establish a workflow that helps you tackle your tasks effectively. If you put it all together, you've got yourself a productive routine. And don't worry, I'll be here to guide you through every step of this formula so you can design a productive routine that's tailor-made for you. So let's dive in. Now, before we start with our first set of questions, go ahead and grab a piece of paper, a notebook, a sticky note, whatever you have available with you, and create these 3 lists. Or you can also access the link to this exact Notion template that I'll be using throughout this video in the description. It's completely free, so if you prefer using the Notion template, you can access the template link in the description below. So now that you have your 3 lists ready, we're all set to start with our first set of questions. So let's go. The first set of questions will help you in identifying a routine that not only keeps you motivated through the day, but also helps you replenish your energy for the next day. So the first question is, are you a morning or night owl? And the reason why this is important is because knowing your peak hours can help you plan your most important tasks accordingly. So for example, think about if you're someone who jumps out of bed ready to tackle the day as soon as the sun rises, or are you someone that tends to be more creative when the world quiets down at night? The second question is, what tasks are non-negotiable for you? So for this, consider tasks that make you happy, like hobbies or things that give you energy to get through the day. So maybe it's your morning or evening workout, or maybe it's just a quick meditation session before starting your day, or even enjoying a hot cup of coffee in the morning. Just think about anything that will get you through your day. Question number 3 is, how do you set and track your goals? Do you even have a system that helps you monitor and set goals? And if you do, reflect on how you're currently doing this, because finding the right method is key for this process. For example, maybe you like using a bullet journal, or maybe you like using a goal tracking app, or maybe you just like writing your goals in a sticky note. Whatever works for you. Personally, I like using my habit tracker in Notion. I created this template earlier this year and I've been using it since then. And what motivates me the most about this template is looking at how the progress bars move closer to 100% every day that I track my habits. It's like a visual representation of all my efforts in this progress bar. And if this sounds like something that might interest you, I also made a video where I go over this template in more detail, and I also provide the link to the free template. So I will also leave the link in the description below to this video. But the main point about this is that you need to find a system that keeps you motivated and that suits your needs. Our next question is, and I know this is gonna be kind of a weird one, but hear me out. When working or studying, does dressing up a bit make you feel more productive? Okay, so I know this might sound silly, but recently I had an experience that made me realize how important this is. And at least for me, the answer is yes. When I wake up and get a little bit dressed up instead of just going straight to work in my pajamas, it does make me feel a little bit more productive. I can't explain why, but it just motivates me. And it might work for you too. So even if it just means wearing shoes inside the house, or wearing a cute blouse or pants, or maybe even doing a cute hairstyle. Even if you don't know the answer to this question yet, try experimenting with it, and trust me, you'll learn a lot about yourself and how you can use things like these to your advantage in your productivity journey. And the final question in the set is, what changes could you make to your evening routine to enhance your readiness and mindset for the next day? So think about how your evening habits influence how ready and prepared you are for the next day. So maybe you feel more prepared and focused when you spend 10 to 15 minutes before bed preparing for the next day and planning for the next day. Or maybe you like to spend that time meditating before bed. Just think about things that will ensure that you're ready to tackle the next day, so that when you wake up in the morning, you already know what you have to do. And this is something I do all the time, and it really makes the difference. For example, last night I spent at least 15 minutes preparing everything that I needed in order to film this video. I even went as far as to plan the outfit that I was going to wear, and that made it so easy for me this morning to wake up, because I already knew what I was going to do, and I also knew that everything was set and ready to go for me to film this video. So I really encourage you to sit down and really think about the answer to this question, because in the long run, it's going to be very helpful for you and the productive routine that you create for yourself. So this is what your list should look like right now. And you should have already established your morning routine and also your evening routine with this first set of questions. And now it's time to create the perfect workflow routine that will help you get things done your way. So the first question of this set, and for this one, you have to be very real with yourself. Can you work with your phone on do not disturb mode? Or do you feel like you physically have to remove your phone from where you are in order to prevent yourself from endlessly scrolling on social media? So there isn't much that I can tell you about this question. I feel like only you know yourself best, but I can tell you what my answer would be to that question. And personally, I feel like it depends on what I'm doing that day. Sometimes I can work with my phone on do not disturb mode, but sometimes I do have to remove it from where I am. For example, today I'm filming this video. I feel very focused. I know what I have to do, but there are days where I'm doing things that are not as exciting as doing a YouTube video. So on those days, I feel like it is harder for me to prevent myself from going into my phone and into social media. So those days I do have to remove my phone from where I am and put it maybe in another room. But that's all I can tell you. I feel like you know yourself best, so I'll leave that up to you. I'll add that to my list and we'll move on to the next question. So the second question is, when do you feel most focused and comfortable when considering places to work? So think about if you're the type of person that doesn't mind working at a coffee shop where there's a lot of movement in the environment from people coming in and out of the coffee shop, loud noises. Think about if that's something that's not distracting to you and you're able to still do your work while being in that type of environment. Or maybe you're the type of person that just prefers to stay at home in their own environment and with no music, no type of loud noises or anything like that. Another thing you can consider is, are you the type of person that likes to work with some type of music in the background? For example, I like to work with some type of instrumental music, maybe jazz. I also love this playlist. I'm gonna put it right here. I've been using this playlist as I was in college doing my bachelor's, and I love it. It always helps me focus so much. I always swear by it. So if you want to give it a try, this is the one. But there's also times where if I really need to focus on something, I can't work with any type of music. I just have to work in silence. And you might be that type of person too. So you just have to see what works for you. So question number 3 is, what tasks do you enjoy working on? Do you prefer starting your day with hard tasks or easy tasks? And everyone knows that the hardest part about doing your work is actually getting started. So that is why it's so important to make things as easy as possible for ourselves in moments like these. And for this question, I would advise that you go back to the first set of questions where we talked about when do you have more energy throughout the day. And when you have more energy, I would advise that you take advantage of that energy and try and tackle the hard tasks at that point, because that would mean that when you get to a point during your day when you have a little bit less energy, you're ready to go to bed, you're tired, that's when you would do the easy tasks. Because sure, we want to make sure that your work gets done, but we also want to make it as comfortable and easy as we can for ourselves. And that will ensure that you will stick to your productive routine. Now, the fourth question is, how do you prefer to approach your work? Are you someone who thrives on a structured schedule with designated break times, or do you prefer a more flexible approach where you take breaks as needed? So for this, you have different options like the Pomodoro technique, or my personal favorite, the flow time technique, where in the Pomodoro technique, you do work intervals where you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break, and you keep doing that until you finish your work. Or you can do the flow time technique, where the idea is that you work until you feel tired and then you take a break, and the time duration of that break will depend on how long your work interval was. So for example, if you work for 1 hour, you get tired and you stop, you take a 15-minute break, and let's say you work for 2 whole hours and then you get tired, you stop, and you take a 30-minute break. So think about this and which approach is best for you to do your work. And the final question, and I really want you to think about this one, what triggers procrastination for you? And let's be honest, procrastination is something that we all go through at some point. And at the same time, it's something that greatly affects your productivity. So that's why it's so important to know exactly what causes you to procrastinate, so that it becomes easier for you to identify these triggers when they occur, and so that you are able to correct yourself to avoid ending up in a procrastination rabbit hole. And there you have it. We've gone through all 10 questions, and now if you look at your lists, you'll see something like this. You'll see your morning routine, your evening routine, and also your work routine. And the best part is that it's custom made specifically for you. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, as I mentioned earlier, these aren't quick fix productivity hacks designed to instantly make you more productive. It is very important to understand that productivity takes a lot of time and effort. And if by the end of this video, you feel like your productive routine could still use some improvement, don't lose hope. Keep experimenting and making small adjustments, and I assure you, the results will be incredibly rewarding. Just remember, if you have the essential components of a productive routine that helps you get through the day, recharges your energy for the following day, and also helps you accomplish your daily tasks, then you're on the right track. And chances are you already have some of these components in place. You just need to make some small adjustments here and there. But overall, this method has been very effective for me in creating my very own productive routine, and I'm confident it will work for you too. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye, Pixies!